Hello everybody and welcome to another Flutter video tutorial. In this video we are going to work on provider, especially on changeNotifier provider. So guys, before wasting any other time, let's go in the code and delete this default application which is created by the Flutter and start from scratch. So now starting with TF by creating stateful widget and name it my app. So what we return here, as we know that we should return the material app, and inside material app we have home and scaffold. Inside scaffold we can create our app bar, and inside app bar we have the title, text, any title we want to give. Like I want to say my favorite IDE. So after that, let's go and create the body. Inside the body we are going to return a column widget. Column widget can take children's. So inside this children, I'm creating some button that choose the IDs. So let's go create a class here, another stateless widget, stls, and name it btn favorite. And then inside this it will return a button which is elevated button. For now we don't have anything to set on press, it will be empty, and inside its child we are going to give a text here, and inside this text we are going to put a string that is a final string and name it IDE, and we will put the IDE inside this text. So as you can see, we can make it final required parameters. Then we can call this button inside the children of the column. Now the first one will be btn favorite, and it takes a parameter which is the ID. Let's provide some IDs inside this string. So the first one, Android Studio, and put a comma at the end, and let's just copy paste a few buttons to choose some IDs. Like I'm going to create 4 IDs. The second one will be the Visual Studio. Visual Studio is also an ID, Visual Studio, and VS Code is also an ID. Another ID, we can name many IDs. For now I remember some of them, that is Xcode also can put. So now we have 4 IDs. After that we are going to bring the provider package. We should use it. So let's go inside the terminal. We can bring the provider package by typing Flutter pub add provider. It will bring the provider and install it in our computer. And let's go to pubspec.yaml, and as you can see down there, there is the provider. The version is 6.0.3 for now. So another way that you can bring the packages from the pub.dev website, that you can copy them and paste them in your pubspec.yaml and click the pub get to download this package. So now we can use this package. Let's create another class here, name it favorites, which extends changeNotifier. Let's put a changeNotifier, and then inside this we are going to create a string, call it fav, and it will be for now unknown because we don't have anything, none, and put a semicolon at the end, and let's make it capital. And after that we are going to create a void method here and name it changeFav. Sorry for that, fav, and it will take a string new favorite, new fav. So inside this we are going to give our fav the value of new fav. So before doing any other thing, let's go up there at the root of our application, which is main application, and place our provider changeNotifier that it will work down the tree. So inside this run app, I can create changeNotifier provider, which has a property which is create. We can give a fat arrow empty and fat arrow which return the favorite method which we built down there. So after that we are going to place my app, which is our stateful widget. We're going to bring it inside this bracket by putting a comma, and inside the child we can put our my app widget, which is now the error has gone. We can use the provider now in our app. So now how we can use it, we can place when we press this buttons, for example we choosing our ID, our favorite ID, let's put the favorite IDE at the top title of our app. My favorite IDE is, now we can put this in the column here and a space, and then we can append provider here, and the provider has a type which we are going to make it favorites, and don't forget to put dot provider of favorite. So as you know, it takes context, we should give it the context, and after that the comma and call the fav, which is this favorite variable. Then now how it set this favorite, let's go to our button, and inside on press of this elevated button we can bring our favorite provider here, provider dot of type favorites, then pass a context again, and after that put dot inside change fav. We are going to put the IDE which we defined a string variable here, and at the end we put this semicolon, and when we click this elevated button, it will take a parameter, and this parameter will be set it to our fav, and we will print on anywhere we want. For now we just print the fav inside our title app bar here. You can print anywhere, and you can create even a text widget here and print inside that. So before doing any other thing, let's run our app and check if it is working. So now let's go into run it. I'm going to click run, and we will wait for running the application on our emulator. Now as you can see, it's installing the app inside the emulator. After a few seconds it will be run. So let's wait for that for the first time. So it takes a bit of time, and now it's launching. So guys, the app is now running, and as you can see, it is not at the center. Let's just bring our buttons at the center to choose our IDE. Before anything else, let's just go here and drop this with this column widget with the center widget, and let's hard reload, and now it should affect. Now as you can see, it bring at the center. So if you want to bring them at this position of a screen, so now we have the column. It has a property called main axis alignment, dot center, and let's save it, and we can see it must bring them at the center. Now as you can see, it is at the center of our app, and let's click on Android Studio. If there will be a changing. Okay guys, we have some problem, then we don't have the notification here. Let's go inside in here we have a context, and also I forgot to put the listen property, which is false for now. And then again, let's hard reload, and now if I click to the IDE, my favorite IDE is Android Studio. So guys, now when I click on our buttons, we choose the IDE, it will not update the unknown from here. So what's the problem? We are going to down the favorite, and we forgot the notifier listener here. Let's just put the notifier listener and put a semicolon at the end, and after putting this, it will listening to us. So let's click on let's rerun our app. After rerun, let's click and choose the IDE. I'm going to choose the Android Studio, and now you can see it is updating and listening, and our provider changeNotifier is working correctly. So now I'm going to choose the Visual Studio or VS Code or any IDE I want. It will update right there. So as well, you can put a text widget right there to change the IDE name as you want. The same provider of, we can copy the code from here, or whether we don't want from here, and I can put it right to the this text widget. So the message, my favorite IDE is something, and we can put a space here and put a comma right here, and also we don't need a comma here. We put a semicolon, double quoted comma, and now let's restart our app. And now if I click on, as you can see, my favorite IDE, and here is our text widget, and when I click here, the IDE will be changed. And now you can choose any IDE you want from the list. So guys, this is the provider change notifier. It's working correct, and I hope you learned something from this video. And after this I will start and I will try to post other tutorials also, and I will create a new series that it will be full stack development series, that we will create our backend and get data and do many things on the full stack app. And see you guys on other tutorials.